Junior.
Hi,
Hello.
guys. Hello.
Hello.
We on? We on? We're good. We're rolling.
Yeah.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the first session of the last day of the 3 days that you've been spending in New Orleans. Thank you for being out here this morning. I hope that you're all caffeinated. We're here to talk about and if you're not, there's great coffee outside as well. We're here today to talk about the kind of confluence of two different areas that we're seeing cross over more and more: Silicon Valley tech community and Hollywood. All of our Silicon Valley guys are becoming their own versions of celebrities now. There's issues that both of these groups could probably help solve together. So I'm going to dive right in. Damon, what kind of need did you see needing to be filled?
Well, I don't know if you guys know this, but I do stand-up comedy, a lot of it. And when I'm in Los Angeles, where I'm from, I go to a lot of open mics. And open mics are where comedians kind of fine-tune their jokes. And it's not just for comedians. It's for comedians, for musicians, etc. So one day I was sitting there waiting my turn, and this nice young lady who kind of looked like you, red hair, beautiful skin, leather jacket. She went up and she performed. She had this acoustic guitar and crushed it. She had her own music. And afterwards, I went up to her. I was like, "That was amazing. How can I find you? Do you have representation?" And she was like, "No, I'm trying to get there." And so that was the problem to me. I was like, there's so many really talented people out there that don't have access to the masses because they don't have representation. They don't have management or agents, and it's hard for them to be discovered. And so that was the genesis of the idea. And I brought that to my buddy Chris, and we kind of just took it to the next level.
Well, I'm nowhere near as talented as what I think that young lady is, but maybe
come on.
will not serenade you guys with my terrible guitar songs, don't worry. So that brings you in, Chris. So when Damon first brought this idea to you, what did you see in it? Was it an idea that you would have come across naturally in your own life?
So I think first thing, right? I'm about to do a call with Damon Wayans Jr., right? I grew up an In Living Color fan. I was familiar with his family. I've seen Damon on TV. And honestly, Damon and I are co-CEOs of this company, but I've been an investor over the last 8 years, so I've seen a lot of deals. And I've kind of become good at being honest about an idea that isn't so great, an idea that really potentially could disrupt and really solve a big problem. And so when he told me the story he just shared with all you guys, it was interesting. I was like, this is definitely a problem. And I said to him, let me do some research. I did that research. I looked at the size of the market, and I thought to myself, this is an enormous problem that's happening globally. And so we joined forces, and we started dating in terms of like talking a lot and helping him
He's the talker.
taking his idea from just that, an idea. And my background in tech and in entrepreneurship, having built and sold businesses before, was, okay, I'm going to work with him to help put that structure around this idea so that we could actually make a legitimate business of this thing.
I think that there's a lot of similarities and differences between the two worlds. I think they could learn from each other quite a lot. Mm-hmm. In some ways, I feel that stand-up is similar to when you're going into an investment round with VCs. It's just you up there in front of a bunch of strangers wanting them to like you and to give you money and to help launch your careers in some way. What do you think that the two worlds could learn from one another?
I don't know. This is like my first. I've only really gone in front of VCs. We've only had one round, right?
Yeah.
So what I have learned is that no matter how well you do in the room, they don't have to say yes to your to investing. But the good thing that I've learned is that if you do, perform well, you make a friend. So people are always there, and that's the beauty of tech, is that you can keep coming back, and if the product's right. So that's definitely what I've learned as far as
From the tech investment side, is there something that you think people in this room could be taking away from the entertainment industry, something that they're doing better than what Silicon Valley and other entrepreneurial areas are?
Is that for me? I mean, I
Yeah.
think so.
Well, what have you learned?
Well, I've worked with other celebrities. I've worked with professional athletes, and I'll tell you what, they are influencers. They're super successful, and if we just look at Hollywood, this massive industry that's super old school, that has no choice but to start embracing these. I don't even know if we call them trends. It seems like mobile happened and all of a sudden we all had smartphones. And so I find working with folks like my business partner Damon that he has so much knowledge about how the entertainment industry works. And that as a technologist, focusing on how to use technology to solve problems, I don't know if there's like a more exciting grouping of two mindsets than really sort of Silicon Valley technology mindset and the entertainment biz. So there's a lot of problems that need to be solved. And it's not, when I think about this, it's like solving a problem sometimes makes it seem like there's like an absolute way to do it. I think in technology, what we try to do is we try to move things forward, create efficiencies, streamline things, and that's what we've done with special guests. We took a super complex process that has been around for literally a century, discovering and booking live entertainment, and we created an end-to-end solution to make that process easier of being found and finding live entertainers.
It's important to try to get outside of that pigeonhole of just whatever people tell you that you should be focusing on. There's this emphasis right now on trying to be a jack of all trades and being able to do every aspect of not just one job, but several jobs. And for entertainers, there's this whole other side of the business that they feel that they have to learn, which takes away from the time for them to do their craft. Absolutely. So do you guys want to talk a little bit about how you give that time and that control back to the entertainers who use the app?
Yeah, I mean, I that was a huge part of our developing this app, actually, which is why we've only started rolling out in California and New York and Pennsylvania, places like these, so we can actually monitor the growth and adjust to the entertainers' needs and to the customers' needs. And that's kind of why we've been doing it, so we can accommodate these needs and see what works and see what doesn't work. And I'm actually really happy with kind of where we are with it.
Yeah, I mean, I think most entertainers just want to perform. 95% of them aren't managed like Damon. So they not only have to perform, but they have to develop a hustle. They're always looking for their next gig. And in the case of the woman that Damon referenced, she isn't even getting paid. So she's just trying to perform. And so you kind of, that performance artist and entrepreneur come head to head, and it's not melodic. It's a grind that a lot of performers would rather not have to do, right? That's why, I don't know if the end goal should be to have a manager. I mean, I'm not going to go there, but at the end of the day, all they really want to do is get recognized and paid to do what they love to do and perform. And so, listening and meeting up with, thousands, since we launched, thousands of performers, and now helping them get booked hundreds of times a month, we're learning so much about what their needs are. And honestly, there's a part of what we're trying to do that is incredibly meaningful. Like, forget the business, forget the convergence of Silicon Valley and LA. I mean, as kids, if you have a talent, like if you're an artist or if you're a musician, mom and dad tell us, be careful. Like, do it, develop it, but, you're going to have to get a real job someday. You're going to have to go to college, which, again, this is fine advice. But imagine if it was easier for you to commercialize or monetize or even get recognized for that talent that you have. So, when Damon and I are, thinking about how to solve this problem, I mean, I'll tell you what, there's not a better drive as an entrepreneur, as a technologist that I could have than wanting to help people just get recognized and paid to do what they love to do.
Yeah, it's very empowering for not only the entertainers, but also the consumer, Right now, there's so many apps out there that allow you to see these entertainers, but you don't really get to interact with them. You don't get to experience them. There's something so profoundly different by experiencing live entertainment. And that's kind of what we're trying to close that gap. Is like, I really like that person. How can I be entertained by them, in a real way?
There's so many apps that are being developed right now, distribution platforms for content where your entire career and your experience lives inside something that is on a screen. So being able to work out how to take that offline, it's also trying to change consumer behavior, I feel. Like you guys said to me backstage, it's a way of not only for artists to be found, but for you to find artists. So when you're thinking about the people who are using the app, I don't even know if I didn't know that I wanted a hypnotist to come to my party, but you guys were telling me about this great, positive thinking hypnotist backstage, Yeah. So it's, could you talk more about the consumer side of things? For example, I might want a Superman impersonator or something like that. How would I go about doing that?
You can.
All right. I mean, Damon talks, we have children, so think about it. There's like 45 million kids under the age of 14 in the United States of America. They all have birthdays. And as a dad, you want to have an entertainer like a Spider-Man impersonator or whatever, but it's hard. I mean, when you go to Google, you type in Spider-Man impersonator, fill in the blank, and you don't know anything about them.
You don't want that person coming to your house unannounced with like a $14 Walmart costume.
Yeah.
But so you
can see everything. It's like, no, dude.
No, not for your kids, man. Not for your kids.
But so just making it easier for moms and dads, and so there's two sides of this real quick. One is like any of us. Like, wouldn't it be cool if you're a CEO it doesn't matter the size of your organization, but a Friday happy hour, to have someone come over for $100 or $150, two-piece acoustic band and just rock out? I do that all the time, by the way. I use the app to hire live entertainment to entertain the special guest employees. So there's two sides. The like all of us, and then there's like bars, restaurants, and clubs.
Weddings.
Yeah, weddings and corporate events where it's customary to look for live entertainment, and that whole thing is broken. It just needs optimization. There's efficiencies that are just within our platform that helps even those traditional venues really kind of streamline the process, just optimize it. So the way that I like to think about what we do for traditional venues like bars and restaurants is we don't go in and we say, hey, we're going to save you money. We go in and we say, we're going to make you more money because we're going to drive efficiencies into this. You're going to be able to hire a broader, diverse set of performers. And so, so the interesting thing is, you have the venue host side and then you have the entertainer side. And our app really does speak to both. We're not serving, if anything, we're serving the talent over the venues, but really that's not how it was built. It was built to make it much easier for both to find one another.
Because you're also changing the economic model in which entertainers can operate, because the formerly it's been a matter of you have to be lucky enough to be seen at one of those stand-up nights, to get a manager, to then get the record deal, but you're ripped off by the record deal and don't get your royalties, and to take that whole middle person out of it and just put it directly into the hands of the consumers. It's just gig economy for entertainment straight away.
Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, and the fact that, no disrespect to what, managers and
I'm
agencies
sure your manager's
are
a
already
very, very
doing.
lovely person. Yes.
Yeah, she's fantastic. No disrespect to them, but they can only represent so many people. They can only, that's why there's like 10% of all entertainers are actually represented correctly. So what's that 90% going to do? And that's where special guest comes in. And we just basically empower the artists. We put them in the driver's seat.
Yep.
So where are you guys going to take this next? Like, what other entertainment problems need
Worldwide.
to be solved?
No.
Effective now.
Spider-Man domination.
Yes.
Every living room.
No, we plan on, doing, slowly but surely going nationwide first. Really kind of attacking the markets that have the most entertainers available, like Nashville, Atlanta. These are a couple of the places that we want to roll out soon, and that's kind of what we're going to do, bit by bit, just and be very methodical about it as well.
So in terms of people in the audience here who might be wanting to push their own new products out or looking to create new ones, back to that the original premise here, which is Silicon Valley versus Hollywood, right? In what ways should people be thinking about or looking for certain qualities in business partners? Are there other parts of the entertainment industry that you guys think are ripe for disruption, or any advice that you would have in terms of people who might want to dabble in one side or the other?
So I think, one of the things we talked about backstage is, I'm not a performer. I'm a technology guy, and I know how to build apps, and I know how to raise venture capital, whereas Damon is a performer, actor, comedian. It's really interesting that when you put two people in the room with disparate backgrounds, like what could come of it? Think about it. If we only are trying to build businesses with people that think just like us, or that have the same backgrounds as us, you're probably going to be completing each other's sentences, where Damon and I do that. But we also have different viewpoints. Viewpoints.
Yes. Whoa.
Wow.
Right?
And so...
You guys are so cute.
So I think for the entrepreneurs out there, there's that side, just get in the room with people who think differently, look differently, come from different backgrounds, embrace that. I mean, that's where... you're going to be able to come together and collide, hence collision, and create something even more special. Don't get too caught up on your idea as well. Like focus on the problems that exist. Don't fall too much in love with your idea, because if you do get in a room with someone who has a different perspective, you want to be able to listen to them and not, fight with them. So.
And that's the beauty of working with somebody who is in tech, is that if you do have an idea, you can bounce it off with somebody that actually knows about technology. I would have never been able to get this far if it weren't for Chris. And so it really helps working with somebody who's technologically savvy and knows about apps and knows about investments and things like that, and how to take a seed of an idea and just expand it and make it what it is now.
So as a final question, if you guys want to talk about any of your favorite people on the platform, or I'm curious to know if my doppelganger is on there, or how she's doing, or other similar people like her.
It's interesting. I can't find her. She must have not lived in LA, because I haven't seen her since. But if I do, I'm definitely going to pounce on that. We have a lot of really cool entertainers. We have some people from American Idol, some people from
The Voice.
The Voice, really funny, like great Obama impersonators. Yeah. It's really great.
Have they got more or less
Hypnotist,
popular?
tell them about the
I
hypnotist, man.
I was on a radio show recently promoting the app, and Santa Claus called in. And he said, do you have any room for a Santa Claus impersonator? And it was just 2 weeks ago, and I said, too bad you're not a Easter Bunny impersonator, because we got 17 calls for Easter Bunny impersonators.
Yeah.
But the real quick thing is, you had mentioned earlier this hypnotist. I had seen them. Hypnotists, have you guys ever seen a hypnotist? They're funny, right? But this guy was a positive psychology hypnotist. So he puts people down under and makes comedy, but then he also gives them positive affirmations and positive thoughts. I mean, I was floored by this guy. So you discover things like that in Special Guest. And Special Guest is for anyone who performs live. It's not, Damon and I aren't like, oh, no, and then, or yes. It's a marketplace for people who are talented that would like to get discovered and paid to do what they love to do.
Great. I think I'll leave it there. Hopefully
Perfect.
I haven't been put under your hypnotic gaze this entire time. Maybe I could get up on stage and perform with that other girl as well. But thanks so much for joining, and I hope you guys find some really great people to...
Cool. We have a Q&A right out here, right after this. If any of you guys want to come out and ask some questions, we'll be out there.
Cool.
Perfect.
Thanks very much, guys.
Bye, guys.